my dream truck back. Say hello to Hot Tomato.
As you probably know, I bought back Hot Tomato, my old 2001 Silverado, regular cab, short bed, flare side. The truck's powered by a 5.3 and an NV 3500 5-speed, and it was my daily driver over 2 years ago. And then I sold it. I sold it to someone in Virginia, and then I regretted it, so I followed it there. I camped out in their yard. It took them a while to find me. It was a couple weeks. Then they got scared and sold it, but not to me. No, they sold it to someone in Pennsylvania. So guess what I'm doing? I'm moving to Pennsylvania, all right? And for a year, I mailed their family letters. I held their dog hostage for a while. Their kids' bikes, I stole them. They kept disappearing one by one. They never knew what would happen with these bikes. They're like, oh, first our dog, now all our kids' bikes. They had a lot of kids, a lot of bikes. Eventually they came back crawling, and I got my truck back, baby. Now it's time to do some work to it. It's time to make it faster and better. Just you and me. Just us. Let's do it. Let's do it together. Now the current powertrain in the truck is this nearly bone stock 5.3 LM7. I have no idea how many miles are on it because the truck was originally a V6 and it's bone stock besides the long tube headers I installed previously and this cold air intake. So you can believe it's pretty gutless. It also has a strange issue where after sitting for a couple hours or overnight, I'll start it up and it'll billow smoke really bad. And that could be due to a PCV valve or valve seals or maybe valve guides, I hope not. So we have some work to do, and while it's apart, we may as well make it significantly faster and cooler. Duh. Then once we're done with that, I'm just gonna cross my fingers that this NV 3500 does not explode. So let's take it for a ride and get a baseline. Come on. That's embarrassing. Such a cool truck and it embarrasses me like that. God. If you didn't already watch the Speedy's equipment video, do so because we made this thing sound nice. Oh! Yeah, baby. Don't worry, more mufflers will be in stock soon. Thank you for buying them. Let's see how this stock 5.3 pulls. Spins. Ignore me maybe missing fourth just now, maybe, possibly. You just run a bang shift to NV 3500. You do it. See how you like it. You won't, because it sucks. As you can see, Hot Tomato is fairly quick on its feet. It's no rocket shit, but it's not too bad for a half ton. Like, come on. For a 5-speed truck with 373s and headers, and those being the only mods to the little stock high mile, probably LM7, not bad. She'll roll out. No idea how fast it really is, like in a quarter mile, but who cares? It's a daily driver. I think with a little bit of work, just a little bit of tweakage, we can really wake this thing up and make it sound crazy too. Get a little slip and slide going here. Ooh, she spun second there. I should get one of those. Those look so majestic. Whoa. I think he heard me say that and then he brake checked me. He knew I was being sarcastic about his silly back window beach cover. Who gets those? Do you get one of those? Do you get a back window cover that looks like a beach? You gotta really love the beach. Like, if I didn't get a back window cover, I'd get probably a super greasy crack on the back of my window. Who spent all that money on those parts the truck doesn't need?
Oh, it was me.
We have the red valve couplers, the Trailblazer SS intake manifold, the FIC 34-pound injectors, the BTR truck Norris camshaft, 92mm throttle body, BTR hardened push rods, and BTR 660 lift platinum dual valve springs. Now these, along with all of the supporting parts and a nice tune, are gonna make Hot Tomato haul ass. So now, I'm actually gonna install it all. It's teardown time. Let's take it apart. Let's make my perfectly running and driving truck not do that anymore. First, I'm gonna take the hood off. Excuse me. I don't actually know where I'm gonna put this. Just kidding. Clean this cooling out, it's gonna make a huge mess. Ready? Ready? I'm gonna pop the cap. It's gonna go flying. Oh, wait. There it is. Oh! That's what it sounds like. That's not a mess. A lot of coolant coming out of this damn truck. That'll sort of go in the drain pan. Sort of, not really. Oh yeah. There's gonna be coolant all over the floor. I love these clamps so much. These are the best clamps. You can't argue with me. I love them so much. No clamp is better. That's what good. Sit the wires, get them out of the way. Slide this bad boy out. Come on. Come on up. I'm the worst mechanic ever. Pull this crappy stock joint out. Out of the way. There you go. Why do you have to be so argumentative? Bye-bye. Peace out. Oh, I got leaves inside the engine. That's cool. Here, Cameron. Wow. Looking pretty greasy in there. I'm finding that underneath these valve covers, it is exceptionally milky. It is appearing that these are a little bit milky inside. That's not really the consistency you want your oil to be at all. That might be a problem. Might have to look into this. I just realized I've made it this far, and I'm starting to mess with wires. I never disconnected the battery. I've just been doing this with the battery connected. Cameraman! 8mm! Pulling off the water pump now. I've removed the last bolt, and I'm making a bigger mess. You don't need to film it, cameraman. I'm making a mess. I get it. God. Ooh. Thank God it didn't go sploop into the coolant. Perfect. Good job, me. Bringing out the big guns now. This better come off. Yeah, let's go. All right. Now I will loosen up the balancer bolt. I fancied a new thing to stick in the crank bolt hole that is longer and also doesn't have the big washer on it. Drilled a little hole in the top so that the puller won't walk off. And this will get the balancer the rest of the way out. Boop. Now for the timing cover.
La 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 la. La la la, these timing cover bolts are so fun. La 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 la.
Adios. Timing cover. There's a lot of condensation in this motor. Got my antique flashlight right now because I somehow have lost my flashlights. But don't worry, don't fret. I got me an antique flashlight right now. It's what they used in the olden times, back when they were working on them horses and buggies. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. I keep walking over here and just glancing over this and saying, oh, that's just condensation. There's no big deal. There's no reason to worry about all that milky oil that kind of smells like coolant. I'm at a turning point at this moment. I'm starting to think I should pull the heads off because they are so close. I'm literally a couple accessory bolts away and a couple header bolts away from just popping the heads off. And that way I can tackle the probable head gasket issue and then know for sure if it's a valve seal or valve stem issue causing that smoke on startup. And then I could get them milled for compression, give a little more horsepower out of it. I don't know, I really think if I just slap this back together with a cam and springs and then it still smokes like a banshee and then it starts losing coolant, I'm really gonna kick myself and have to do all this over again. So, I think I'm just gonna do it, tear the motor apart the rest of the way, and just do it all right. So let's get to pulling the heads off. This can kind of, this can rest over here. Yeah, that's fine. Now for my headers, memories, I put these on 2 years ago. You like how I use all these bolts as spacers? That's such a comfy spot to work. Oh yeah, that'll be fine. All right, now let's take the heads off. Man, these bolts are tight. Wonder why. This thing should come off now. Silly little cylinder head. Ooh, more coolant all over the floor for today. Okay. Nice. This shop's just a big filthy mess at this point. Thank you. Check it out, viewer. We looking all right? We looking okay? You know, a little dirty, a little stanky, a little greasy. Putting a forward motor in this thing next. It's hard to express my frustration right now. Like I said, my exhaust, the first time I put it together, was very removable. I could have easily climbed under and loosened up the band clamps and just slid these headers out of the way, but no. They're locked together, they're welded together, which is making it incredibly hard to get to these last little head bolts in here. Very fun, I'm having a great time. Thanks for being along for the ride. One more to go. Okay. Woohoo! Definitely has not been 30 minutes since the last take. How fun of a family-friendly activity was that? Boy, if I could just have a bunch of kids watch me say the awful words I just did in the past 30 minutes, they'd be so smart after, I bet. That's enough for today. There's been enough of me almost throwing tools through the windshield, and now the engine is almost completely torn apart. I gotta drop the pan to pull the oil pump off, pull the cam out, etc., etc. But I just ordered a bunch more parts to put this thing back together correctly, and I also have to drop the heads off at the machine shop. So I'm gonna do all that, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna put this thing back together. It's gonna be fast as a mother. And I bought stuff to put AC back in it too, so it'll be nice and chilly when I drive it. So I'm just gonna forget about this for a very long period of time and distract myself other ways. See you then.
Day 4.
I'm now jacking the truck up so I can get under it and undo the oil pan. Because I've got it down this far, may as well do the oil pump. And to get the oil pump off, I gotta take the oil pan off. It's just a snowball effect, these projects. Now I'm gonna go underneath the truck and try to pull the oil pan so that I can take the oil pump off, and then we can take the cam out and then change the cam gear set. Can't wait to be under here. Let's see how bad the oil really was. I don't believe it was milky inside the pan, but I guess we'll find out for certain right now. Oh. Like a little coolant came out of there before the oil. Did everyone see that little splash it made that wasn't quite oil? I feel like I did. There's no way to know for sure. I'm gonna say I'm not quite sure if there was a head gasket problem or not, but we're just treating it like it probably was. Oh! Definitely gotta lift the motor up a little bit, but That's a loose oil pan. Now I will loosen the motor mounts. Lift the motor up just a little bit. These motor mount bolts were very loose. You hear how the impact is not even impacting them? Okay. Last motor mount bolt is now out. I don't know where it went. It flew away. That's a problem for later. I feel like I've said it a lot this video, and I think I'm gonna have a lot of problems later due to my own actions. Let's get my chain here. And I will lift it. We have a random useless bolt here, right in the water pump hole. Shouldn't be strong enough to hold it. I think worst case it'll just bend that bolt, but like I said, it's useless. It's out of my parts bin. Now, can we lift the front of the motor up? Oh, oh, oh. Look at that, look at that. Can't wait for all the comments on this video from the experienced engine builders. Well, I have now made the discovery that I simply can't remove the oil pan past the transmission bell housing. So this entire thing has snowballed to the point where now I'm pulling the motor out. We have the hoist right here. I am a couple bell housing bolts away from literally just pulling this stupid motor out. This has been such a fun adventure to this point. I should have just pulled the motor out to start with, but I was only going to do a cam swap. Look how things have turned. So, I'm going to pop off some bell housing bolts, and then we're just going to pull this 5.3 out. Damn. So I'm going to tighten down that starter. Adios. Pop this thing out one more click. Boop. And up we go. Alright, after a little bit of struggling off camera, we finally broke the motor loose from the bell housing. So, she's loosey-goosey. And up we're gonna go, and out we're gonna come. Perfect! I want to rebuild it right there, just like that. We now have the engine out of the truck. We just strapped the transmission to the long tube headers, and it's all sitting in there. The truck can be rolled in and out. And I'm standing next to a 5.3 short block. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do next, because the original plan was just a simple cam and spring swap and an intake. But look where we are. Look where that got us. So I just gotta figure out what's next.
3 weeks later.
Update! After all the fun we've been having, discovering problems and incrementally tearing down and then removing the 5.3, last week the machine shop called me and told me that both cylinder heads I dropped off are cracked. So that means, in fact, water was running through that 5.3 bottom end, doing, I'm not quite sure what kind of damage to it. So for the past few days, I've been going back and forth. Should I try to rebuild this 5.3? Should I get a 6 liter? Maybe a 6.2? Something crazy? I just haven't been quite sure. That is until yesterday, I found something on Marketplace. And now cameraman and I are gonna go pick it up. Let's go. Come here! Oh, this car? You gotta subscribe to the Patreon to learn about this car. We got about an hour trip ahead of us, but don't worry, don't fret. It's gonna be worth it. Can we pull a wagon like that, cameraman? Doing a little handling today. You know what time it is? You know what time it is. Alright, we are pulling up. See my purchase. Potential purchase. Oh! That's interesting. That's strange. Oh. We may have found a donor car. And the donor car may have an LS1 and a T56. Which is gonna make Hot Tomato run really good. Let's make a baby. This video did not go as planned at all. It was supposed to be a very quick cam and spring swap, get a little tune in it, keep driving the truck, but it was a miserable snowball that involved us pulling the cylinder heads and then pulling the entire motor. Well, the motor's out, may as well buy a completely different car that runs and drives perfectly fine on its own and take this entire drivetrain out and put it in this one. But don't worry, because when we're done, this is gonna be a bad-ass Silverado. And I'm not gonna be sorry that I did this. So, keep watching the best damn automotive content on YouTube. And I'll see you very soon, unless you want to see me sooner. In which case, subscribe to the Patreon. Love you. Love you a lot.
I love you.
I wasn't talking to you, cameraman. I was talking to you. Bye.